Morning, everyone. It's 60 degrees here in Arkansas. It's overcast, cool, a little windy. It's the perfect simulation of a Camino morning, and I'm about to hop out here and go for a 9 or 10 mile walk, and it's going to feel good to get out there and do that today. About a week out, and there's been so much to do leading up to our time to go that I've tried not to think too much about it and just get all the chores done. But for the first time, I can feel myself beginning to get just a little bit excited about the trip. And I think it's because, for the first time in a long time, I'm starting to feel just a little bit creative again. If there's an analytical side and a creative side to the brain, I may be 10% analytical and 90% creative. Um, and the funny thing about it is that I've I've lived long enough now that I understand uh, the cycles and the seasons that I go through in creativity. And I may have a week or a month or even several months where I feel really creative and I'm doing really good work, and then I may have a long dry spell. Um, and I've never really understood why that is, but it is. And I've learned to recognize it, and I just work with it and I just flow with it. Um, and I've even learned that there are certain things that when I'm in a dry spell, there are certain things I can do, like travel, that has a tendency to get me on track again. And it's one of the reasons I love going places, because I never, almost inevitably when I'm traveling in a different place, especially a different culture, I just feel creative again. I'm excited about that. One of the decisions you have to make when you're going on a pilgrimage like the Camino is whether you're going to plug or unplug, electronically, the internet. And I've had lots of conversations with people about that, and people who kind of followed my journey last year have asked me the question, why was it so important for you to tell that story in real time? What was so special about that to you? And it's a good question. It's a fair question. Um, Camino last year for me was so much about just time with God, just, connecting and reconnecting with Him and trying to listen to Him about where the second half of my life was going to go at 50. And I felt, to be quite honest with you, I felt more spiritually prepared, more connected to God last year than I do right now as Dana and I head to the Camino. That's not God's fault. That's my fault. Um, but it's something I'm working on now. But I don't know what that means for this Camino. But um, I went last year with this idea of what a pilgrim was supposed to be, how I was supposed to be when I was there. And I've told the story, and you may have heard it. But I went thinking that I needed to be quiet and reverent and just, be meditative. And, all those things are good and all those things are true. But 4 days into the journey, I just didn't feel like myself anymore. And I was seeing all these opportunities for great storytelling out there. And I'm not one of those people who goes around and says, God told me to do this or God told me to do that. Um, I think the best thing you can do is just pray and read the Word and be receptive to God when He speaks to you in certain different ways. I don't know. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining that. And it's not as if God just spoke out loud to me on day 4 or day 5 of that Camino, but I felt all of a sudden, I felt permission to be myself and to go back and tell those stories in real time. And that's what I did. And when He gave me permission and I gave myself permission to do that, the structure of the whole Camino changed for me. And that was my Camino, was storytelling and reconnecting to not only Him, but to my creativity. Pat Conroy is my favorite writer. He died earlier this year. He's a great Southern author from South Carolina. And Pat said the most powerful words in the English language are "tell me a story." and we could debate what the most powerful words are, but I mean, those are pretty good words. And I love telling stories. I don't know where the stories are headed on the Camino that Dana and I are about to experience. I have some ideas, I have some suspicions. They'll probably turn out to be all wrong. But because I'm finally, feeling that a little bit of creativity again, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm a little bit excited about it, and I'll get more excited about it as time goes on. And I'm looking forward to sharing whatever it is with you guys, whoever's willing to listen, beginning in about a week now. See you next time. Bye bye.